My bad.
Yep.
It's the 10th.
10th all day, baby. Who's being nasty?
Tucker needs to drink
Tucker.
smarter to get smarter.
Tucker. Don't be nasty.
Don't be nasty.
My apologies.
Thank you, Tucker. I accept your apology. It's period 5. It's quiz number 4. Alright, almost live, guys. Sorry.
That's it.
Hey. Use some lotion, Tucker. Get that stuff under control.
Oh, man. Tucker.
2 feet away from
His
you.
head's like the size of the moon.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
Forehead. I don't know.
Yeah.
Look at that big ear. Mr. Mack throws shots back.
Alright, and we're live.
Your eyes are reading.
Tucker, you hit me, I swear to God.
Considered a caveman.
Alright.
Will you quit?
Give him his water back.
I bought that
The man is thirsty. Give him his water.
He's thirsty for something.
Mr. Eads, we are all thinking it. You didn't need to say it. Find the measure of each angle. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Vandermeyer.
Interrupting my class, Vandermeer.
What's up, Vandermeer?
Alright. So what? How are we gonna figure it out? Oh my God.
10 points.
That was good.
Put the Y's together. Man, that's my water.
Tucker, take care of your water. Eads.
What? Hey, that's my phone. Look
I don't know what you're talking about.
I can do anything.
All right. If that's how we're gonna play class, that's how we're gonna play. All right. So anyway, all we know is angle 1 is 3y plus 10, and this one is 8y minus 50. Now the question is, are these gonna be congruent, the same dumb thing equal to each other, or are they gonna be supplementary? That's the question, right? Let's check it out. All of these are parallel. These two here and these two here. So that means this guy and this guy are the same, because corresponding angles, right? Top left, top left. But we also know, since all of these are parallel, that these two are the same by corresponding angles, right? Because they're all parallel. We couldn't do that in the last page because they weren't all parallel, right? We had one that was a little askew. Now, if 13 and 5 are the same, what do we know about 13 and 15? Vertical, so they're the same. So angle 1 and angle 15 must be the same crap, right? Well, if they are, they're equal to each other. So 3y plus 10 is going to equal 8y minus 50. Okay. So now let's do math. Terrible idea in real life, great idea in math. What are we going to do? Get x's together. In this case, y's, right? So I'm going to subtract the 3y and move it over. And I'm going to get 5y on this side minus 50. Okay, now all our x's, y's, are together. So let's get our regular numbers together. I'm going to add the 50 over. I'm going to get 60 equals 5y. Yes, sir?
I ain't got my calculator anymore.
I know you don't. Make it negative.
Hurts.
Yeah, you could if you want. Doesn't matter.
You shut up.
Yeah, shut up. So we're going to divide by 5 to get y separated from the 5, right? Division is divorce. So we get 12 equals y. All right, if you don't know that off the top of your head, think about it. 50 divided by 5 is 10, right? So 11 gets you to 55. 12 gets you to 60.
I can't do my math.
Yeah, I know, but we're going to try today. So y is 12.
Now I gotta wait for you.
So now we got to plug stuff back in. So over here, I've got 3 times 12 plus 10. You can do that in your head. What's 3 times 10? Think of an easier problem. 3 times 10 instead of 3 times 12. What's 3 times 10? 30. Well, we want 3 times 12, so that's 2 more 3s, right? 33, 36. So this is 36, and then we add 10. 46. 46 degrees. Now, you might think, oh, great, I can't do 8 times 12 in my head. Well, you can. It's 8 times 10, 80, plus 16, right? 2 more groups of 8, right? So it's 96. Minus 50, 46. Or you could be clever and realize, look, these are the same angle. I did it once up here. I don't need to do it again down here. Would it be nice to check your work? Yeah, it would. But be clever, right? Get the easy win here and then write the same thing there. All right, let's label all the other angles.
134.
All right, Maddie, what do we know about angle 14 and 15? Yeah, they're a linear pair, right? There's the pair. There's the stem. By linear pair theorem says if you're looking at a linear pair, which we is, they're supplementary, right? What does it mean to be supplementary? They add up to 180. So that guy's 46. How much is left over for this guy? Well, 4 more to get to 50, 134, something like that. That 4 and the 6 make it 10 to get to 50. So I accounted for the 4. I got 130 left over. I don't know. Huh? 16 is, because vertical angle says that's 134 as well. In fact, if you notice, there's only 2 angle measures in the entire problem, aren't there? That guy's going to be 134. My class is so hard. 46. 46. 134. Yada, yada, yada. Need I go on? This kid. You need to get a haircut. But like, other than that, he's all right. Number 12. Let's go on. Now, tomorrow I might give you angles that aren't equal to each other for number 11, by the way. I might give you like angle 1 and angle 2 with expressions, right? Well, you know that they add up to 180, right? So if I gave you this instead, imagine this was the problem. 2y minus 1 for these two. Wouldn't you know that 3y plus 10 plus 2y minus 1 equals 180? Because they're a linear pair. You smell what I'm stepping in? I'll slow it down. This guy right here and this guy right here are a linear pair, yeah? So they must add up to 180. So I wrote that. This guy and this guy add up to 180. Right? There's 2 ways I can give it to you. I can give you angles that are the same, right? Set them equal, knock them down. Or I can give you stuff that's a linear pair, right? You need to know the difference. Yeah.
13 and 9 be the same?
13 and 9 would be, right? Because corresponding angles. So that guy's going to be 46. Right? You'll notice that 46 and 134 fill out the whole thing. I know you do. I know you do. 12. Solve for each variable. So check it out. Here's our transversal. These lines are parallel. That's what those symbols mean right there. They're parallel. So, Maddie, you probably noticed we've got a linear pair here. They add up to 180. But the problem is, when I write 3x plus all that equals 180, how many variables do I have? 2. Not just 2, but 2 different ones, right? So I can't solve that. That's one equation, 2 variables. Ain't going to happen. So that's not the winning formula. How can I relate the x's to one another? Well, let's take a look at this angle. This angle right here, let's do it in blue. Should be the same as this one, right, by vertical theorem, vertical angles, right? Same thing with these two. They should be the same. Because of what? Those 2 angles are what? Corresponding. Both are in the upper, well, I guess it's top left if you tilt it like that. I don't know. They're both in the top of their intersections, right? So those guys are the same. So again, knowing that these 2 are the same, that's nice, but I'd have one equation with 2 variables, right? That's no bueno. So what do I know about this angle and the 3x? They add up to 180 because they're a linear pair. Check it out. These 2 are the same, right? So those guys are a linear pair. So these guys are going to add up to 180 as well, right? I'm going to say it again. These 2 are the same. And we know that these 2 add up to 180, right? So that means these 2 better add up to 180. Right? These 2 are the same. And we know these 2 add up to 180. So let's solve for x. 9x plus 12 plus 3x, that's this guy, right? Should equal 180 degrees. Right? I had to do some work to get there, right? I had to figure out these 2 angles are the same. Oh, look, linear pair, right? But they add up to 180. A lot of times you guys know they add up to 180, but you don't know what to do after that. Write it down. That guy and that guy add up to 180. Write it. I'm going to have to go around tomorrow and tell you guys to do that, because I do it every time. Don't be afraid to ask. You'll say, I know these 2 add up to 180, but what do I do? Write that they add up to 180. What's 9 and 3 together? I'm going to get these two x's together. They're already on the same side, so I just smash them together. We get 12x, right? 12 stays. 180's there. I'm going to do subtract 12 from both sides, right? Now, subtracting 12 from 180 is hard to do in your head. But I can do subtract 10 first, right? And then 2. You smell what I'm stepping in? Instead of subtracting 12 all at once, I'm going to subtract 10, then subtract 2. What's 180 minus 10? 170. Now subtract 2 more. Yeah, 2 more. Yeah. So you just subtracted 12. I don't know why we don't teach you guys that in like elementary school. Instead, we're like, you just got to figure it out and carry the 1 and all this crap. It's like, no, subtract 10, then subtract 2. Now we're here. Divide by 12. Well, it's going to be 14 for this one. My numbers tomorrow won't be that big. You'll be all right. Hold on a second. Do I disagree with you? No, I agree with you. Okay. X is 14. That's all we need to do is solve for the variable. So there's x. Now how are we going to find y? That's our other variable. Mm-hmm. They're a linear pair, right? So I know that 3x plus 4y minus 10 equals 180. There's another way to do that. I'll talk about that in a second. But Maddie sees a linear pair. She loves pairs. So I wrote it. Now, normally this would not be solvable, right? We have two different variables, one equation. But we know what x is, right? So now we can take that and plug it in there. So we have 3 times 14 instead of x, right? Plus 4y minus 10 equals 180. 3 times 14 in our heads. We're going to do it. Let's do 3 times 10. What's that? What's 3 times 10? 30. What's 3 times 4? 12. What's 30 plus 12? 42. You guys are way smarter than you give yourselves credit for. And if you are struggling to do what I'm doing in my head, that's okay. It's because you've never been taught it. It took me years to think about stuff like that. They tell you to memorize your times tables. And as soon as it's one you haven't memorized, you're screwed, right? That's not learning. So we got 42 minus 10 on the same side, so I'm just going to combine those. Is that cool? So that's going to be 4y. 42 minus 10, what's that? Yeah, they're all on the same side. We don't have to add the 10. They're already on the same side. So it's positive 32 equals 180. Now I need to move the 32 over, right? So now I am going to subtract it. So I get 4y. Let's subtract 32 from 180 in our heads. First of all, what's 180 minus 30? 150. Subtract 2 more. 148. And you look like a genius. Now we're going to divide by 4. I'm going to do this in my head. Okay? What's 8 divided by 4? What's 40 divided by 4? 10, right? So 1 there. What's 100? Because that's what that 1 stands for, right? What's 100 divided by 4? 25. So what's 25 plus 12? 37. Here's what I did. I divided 8 by 4 and got 2. I divided 40 by 4 and got 10. That's 12, right? I divided 100 by 4 and got 25. So 12 and 25 makes 37. So y is 37. Yes, ma'am. Are you asking about the right side? 4y minus 10. 4y minus 10 is equal to 138. Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. Mm-hmm. I said there's a couple ways to do it. Corinne came up with one. Here's another one. So instead of saying these are a linear pair and adding them up to 180, couldn't we have also said these two equal each other? Yeah, by vertical angles, right? So Corinne did that, and she said, well, after I plug in 14, I get like, what did you get? 168, right? 138? Okay, math is hard. Yeah, 138. That means this guy should equal 138. Solve, right? Cool. That was 12. Let's go to 13. Alex, the internal angles of a quadrilateral always add up to what? All right, so right off the bat, those four angles are going to add up to 360. Now, that would be great if they were all the same variable, but we have an extra variable, don't we? So I can't just write all these guys add up to 180 or 360 and call it a day, right? I have one equation, two variables. That ain't going to cut it. So what are we going to do, Alex? We can't assume that's a right angle. We cannot assume. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to extend my lines out. Let's see if you can see it. Forget this crap. Look over here. I'm going to extend this line out. Ignore this. Oh, come on, guys. Tell me you can't see. All right. Don't we have two intersections? Aren't these lines parallel? So, isn't this angle going to be equal to that angle? Maddie, what do we know about the green angle and the brown angle? They're a linear pair. So they must add up to 180, right? So 10x plus the brown angle, which is 15x plus 30, a bunch of junk, right? Just write it down. Are a linear pair, so they add up to 180. Now you do math. Do I subtract the 15x? No, they're already together on the same side. You just do math, right? 10 and 15, that's 25. So we have 25 x's. Again, don't lose your x's. Stock them on Instagram. That's what you do. Who amongst us has not? Subtract 30 from both sides. We get 150. Eads! How many times does 25 go into 150?
6.
Goes into 6 times, because 4 times into 100, twice into 50. 6 times total. X is 6. All right, let's have some fun. If x is 6, what's the green angle's measure? 6D, right? It's like my report card growing up. 6Ds, yep. 15x, believe it or not. Seriously. 15 times 6. Let's do it in our heads. What's 10 times 6? 60. What's 5 times 6? 30. Add them together. So that's 90 right here. Now hold on, we didn't add the 30 here. Add 30 more, right? So it's going to be 120. Huh? Part of that. Part of it was that school's all about memorization. I'm bad at memorization. I need to know how it works and why. Right? I can take something apart, understand how it works, I can run it. No big deal. But math was just like, follow the rules, do the steps, and I can't memorize them. Right? So I hated it. I love music. I understood why it worked. All right, this is 90 degrees up here, right? Now, to figure out the last one, you need to know that all of the angles in a quadrilateral add up to 360. Why is that? Right? Don't memorize. Why is it? Here's why. Imagine I draw a line from here to here. Okay, I'll draw it. I know you guys want me to. It's going to make the drawing gross looking, but I'll do it. If I draw a line there, doesn't that cut that into triangle 1 and triangle 2? Now, we know triangles always have 180 for their angles, right? So this angle, and that angle are 180. This angle, that angle, and that angle are 180. Well, add all those angles together, what do you get? 360, right? So this guy's 360. If I had a 5-sided object, like this, well, there's a triangle, there's a triangle, there's a triangle. It's 180 times 3, right? Whatever that is. You don't have to memorize it. Know what it means. Break it down. So these guys all add up to 360, right? 2 triangles. So I know that 90 degrees plus 120 degrees plus 60 degrees, that's what we got for those 3 angles, right? Plus this guy. 3y plus 18 should get me 360. Do math, right? That's the setup, though. They'll add up to 360, so write that. I'm going to add all these guys up. 60 and 90, that's 150. 150 and 120, 270. Oh, I forgot the 18. My bad. Add the 18, we get 288. You guys smell when I'm stepping in there? I apologize for missing that 18. I added up the 18, the 60, the 120, and the 90. And I got 288. How did I learn math not in color? I didn't. That's the answer. No yawning in math class. You should be. All right, so now I subtract 288 from both sides. Pause. Let's subtract 200 from 360. How much is left over? 160. Subtract 80 from 160. 80. Subtract 8 from 80. 72. I subtracted 200 from here, 160 left over. Subtracted 80 from 160, 80 left over. Subtract 8, 72 left over. Divide by 3. $21. No, it's 63. Not 21. It's 24. Yep. 3 times 20 is 60, right? I need 12 more, so 4 more. So y is 24, and we done. We got x, we got y. 14, same dumb crap. Extend your lines. So here's what I'm going to do. Extend these guys out. Make them nice and long. Cool. We got too much crap going on here. Ignore these guys. Aren't these two angles going to be the same? Alternate interior, right? Crisscross applesauce. Do you see it? Does everybody see why those are going to be congruent? Okay. So we know that 3x equals 5x minus 20, right? Because they're the same thing, so they equal each other. You dig? That's how we're going to find x. All right? Those equal each other. So now I'm going to subtract the 5x. I get negative 2x on this side equals negative 20. How do I separate the negative 2 from the x? Divide, right? Separation is division. So I get positive 10. You guys cool with that? Subtract the 5x, it ends up being negative, but it's all good. We end up positive on the other side. So if x is 10, what's the blue angle here? 30, right? Now you could plug it in here and get 50 minus 20 is 30, which you should, right? Otherwise you done goofed. But we know this is going to be 30 because they're congruent, right? Save you the time. Triangle. Triangle angles add up to what? 180. All of these angles are going to add up to 360, right? Because there's two triangles, but one triangle is 180. So I know that 2y plus 4y plus this corner down here, which is 30, right? Should equal 180. Now, you might say, wait a minute, we got two variables, one equation. One kind of variable. Because those guys are going to go together, right? Let's get our y's together. We get 6y plus 30 equals 180. Subtract 30, 150. Divide by 6. Well, one way, instead of dividing by 6, we can divide by 3, then divide by 2, because 3 times 2 is 6. What's 150 divided by 3? 50. Divide by 2, 25. So the way I did that in my head is I said, look, I'm not going to divide by 6. That's way too hard. I'll divide by 2 and then divide by 3. That's the same thing as dividing it by 6. Divide it by 2, divide it by 3. Same thing as dividing it by 6. All right? So let's divide it by 2 first. Well, let's divide it by 3 first. 50. Divided by 2, 25. So y is 25, x is 10. We done. How do you feel about that? I'm going through it quick. Dees. Ivy, how about you? Yeah, feeling all right? Okay. Maddie? Yeah, I wasn't picking on you, Ivy. I was just asking. Corinne, how we feel? Pretty good? Okay. Other Maddie. Feeling okay? All right. Cool. Tell me if you're not. It's okay if you're not. It really is. Like, no one cares. Not okay on 15? Let's check it out. All right, so maybe the hardest one, but the lesson is extend your lines, draw extra lines if you need to. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw a line right here, and I'm going to make it parallel. We're allowed to draw a parallel line whenever we want. Right? If I say it's parallel, it is. That's the key. So now we're not going to find angle x. What we're going to do is we're going to find this angle, and then we're going to find this angle, and we're going to put them together, right? That's the goal. Those angles are not congruent. I did not cut that angle in half. I don't know that for sure, right? I don't know that for sure. But I know whatever the blue is and whatever the red is, they should add up to x. They're not going to be perfectly half, unless I'm really lucky, right? But check it out. If I cover this up, don't I have angles here and here that match up? There and there? I do. I do. What about these two angles? They're the same, right? And those are corresponding. So they better be the same. Another way is you could say, look, I got alternate interior angles. They're going to be the same, crisscross applesauce, right? I don't know. So we know x is just 60, not x, but this part, the blue part, is 62. Right? X is talking about this whole thing. Let's do that in green. X is green. So we still got to figure out the red part. You smell when I'm stepping in here? It's kind of weird. Tucker, you doing okay? For real? All right. So now I got to figure out the red part. Well, take a look. These two angles are going to be the same. Crisscross applesauce, right? That means this angle and this angle are going to be the same. The two red ones. Now, what do I know about this little red angle in 144? Linear pair, right? Linear pairs are supplementary, which means they add up to 180. So if he's 144, how much is left over for the little guy? 36. So if he's 36, the red part's 36. X is the red and the blue put together. I should have made it purple. Why do you tell me this? So X is going to be 62 and 36 put together. That's 98. 98 Degrees, which was a boy band in the 90s. They sang the Mulan song at the end of the Mulan DVD. 98 Degrees, it's a boy band from the 90s. Yeah. That's all it says, bud. It goes back to the page before. It says just find the variables. Right. How do you feel? Okay? If you're not, tell me. I'm going to be here after school today for a pretty long time. Not as much as I normally am, but more so than I normally am on a Thursday. No, I'm after school here all the time. I haven't been this last week, though. I've been really tired, so I've been heading home, taking a nap, and then getting here super early in the morning. Or getting here super late at night, and then going home super early in the morning, and then getting here later than I normally do, like around 7:30. But I've been here. Let me help you to make sure you knock this out of the park, because I think this is very doable. It's not easy. It's not, right? Page 1, maybe. Page 2, maybe, right? Then the extending the stuff, it's going to get a little weird, right? Are the diagrams going to be exactly the same? Some of them, okay? But it's the same concepts. Make sure you support your answers. Linear pair theorem for 95, right? The smart water. Tucker, how do you let them take that from you? I mean, I don't want to blame the victim here. But, like, come on, man. It's Doc and Eves. Yeah. What do you say? Homework? Here's what I want you to do in the homework. Turn it in as is. Stuff we didn't do in class, don't worry about it. If I assigned it for you to do, you would better have done it, okay? You can turn it in tomorrow. All homework is officially due Fridays, right? I don't grade anything till the weekend. Lord knows I don't have time.
So it's okay, we turn it in?
Yeah. I did not assign, and I did not ask you to do. Oops, that's not the last page. 11. Did I assign 9 and 10? I think I assigned 9 and 10. I did, yeah. 11, I'll give you free on 11. I'm a merciful God. All right. That's the deal.
Tucker, quit touching me.
Tucker, need a pen. Oh man, got lost in the light. Tucker, you play baseball?
Yep.
That's what I thought.
He's not.
Left field?
Yep.
You ruined my no-hitter last year.
Huh?
You ruined my no-hitter last year.
I didn't ruin shit.
You ruined my no-hitter
I
last year.
didn't ruin shit.
All right.
could've
You seem really upset about this. Eads, you could have pitched an actual no-hitter instead of relying on your outfield.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, you should.
He doesn't ask me that.
You have pancake? No, you need quarantine. But I don't want none of your stuff. I don't have any stuff.
Doesn't have any stuff.
All right. Sit
I
down.
don't need none of that stuff in your hand.
Game ride. All right. Well, I recorded, but it didn't go live. I'm not sure why. I'll update.